Hey everybody, it's time for another Chainwax Podcast. I wasn't in the mood to do one until I saw something here. Now, I want to point out that Zero Friction Cycling didn't do a video for about a month. Then they commented also on the GMBM Tex waxing video that I did a video slightly about. And now they're saying this Cyclo Wax Race Wax goes long. Yeah, how's it doing the dirt? We'll see. But these guys have pretty much fallen off the map in the last few months. They haven't done much. They did 2 videos a month ago and a couple of 2 months ago. They've been really not doing much since I started my podcast, pointing out all the, well, we'll just say inconsistencies in their data. Now, here's why I'm doing the podcast. I got an email today from aMTBer, and I haven't clicked on them in a while, but the headline caught me so off guard. It was, is this real? Is this even real? And it says, I thought it was an April Fool's joke. But Ceramic Speed has just announced a new $22.95 derailleur hanger. And it's on sale for $2,000. Now, this is what I'm talking about, where the bike industry is not very trustworthy. I mean, first of all, I don't see anything here that would warrant $2,000. I see a couple of wheels that can be, molded, and even if they were CNC'd, it wouldn't cost anywhere near that. And a hanger made out of, who cares, whatever it's made out of. The only way I could justify it is making some parts out of gold, but that wouldn't be what Ceramic Speed's about. They're about weight weenie stuff. Now, just because this might be the lightest, I don't know anything about this. All I know is the price tag is ridiculous. And these are the people that make the chain lubes that Zero Friction Cycling sells. They sell them, they promote them. Now they're on the Cyclo Wax. Who cares? I mean, bottom line is, it's all roadie stuff over there at Zero Friction Cycling. And if it works on mountain bikes, that's great, but mine was designed specifically for mountain bikes. So when you apply the product, know that it is designed for mountain bikes, for our use. Here's an early application video with the rear wheel removed, showing an early brush technique. Now, I had to do several takes on this. It was sort of shaking around in the stand, and that's why there's a little excess on there. But anyway, pushing the product into the chain replaces melting wax, waiting a half an hour, all that stuff, removing the chain from the bike. Using the brush makes it much easier to get the same results, really. In fact, you can actually get more wax in your chain doing it this way with my product than you can with the crockpot. So, and because ours never requires degreaser, only a chain prepping process that we came up with using this right here, the original formula, which is now chain prep formula. This does a couple of things. Let me see if I can explain this with a good analogy of what's going on here. So, using this and a brush, now we have the 3-headed brush, which makes it even easier. What's going on is, instead of a sole chemical reaction by itself, dissolving the chain lube, factory packing grease, your existing lube, instead of it relying solely on chemical reaction to dissolve what's there, which is very harmful to the chain, our formula is not high pH formula. So what's going on is it's breaking down more of a mechanical action. Now, let me give you an analogy. To get a blood stain out of some material, hydrogen peroxide does a great job. It actually lifts it out, it bleaches it out. It's basically a chemical process that's happening there when you use hydrogen peroxide to get, a blood stain. If you cut yourself and you lay it on your pillow or whatever happened, you want to get that stain out, hydrogen peroxide is what we're told. But I found other ways to get it out. Recently, I realized that you can use toothpaste. And you can use toothpaste to do the same thing. And what's going on with that is you're going to be using a toothbrush to mechanically remove the dried blood off of a pillowcase. Okay, so you can see what I'm talking about here is relying solely on the chemistry without any physical activity applied to that is one way to get the lube off your chain, like gasoline, degreasers, other things. Okay, Simple Green, other high pH water-based biodegradable degreasers are still high pH, and it's still bad for your chain. Where this product is using a low pH, and it is using the mechanical action of the chain itself with the assistance of the brush to keep it in the rollers and keep the rollers spinning to help remove every last bit out. So how you use the chain prep formula is you just put it on your chain on the bike, and you just put it on at the equivalent of about a drop per link, like you do any other water-based chain lube. But this is the prep formula we're talking about here. And then you just apply it, one coat around the chain like I'm doing here. And then you'll grab the three-headed brush, which right now is coming for free with all 3 to 5 minutes. And you're going to just hold it there. With the three-headed brush, you can hold it on the bottom of the chain. It holds the chain steady. And it helps spin the rollers. Every time the rollers pass the brush, it'll spin it a little bit of a turn, and that helps remove it out of the deep crevices of the chain. Now again, we did a couple of takes on this. I said the wrong things. We already had the stuff on the chain, had to do the reapplication again. So there's a little too much on here in the video. You're going to put just the minimal amount just to fill those rollers, and you're going to do it 2 times. Because the first time you do this for 3 to 5 minutes, you're going to wipe it off with a rag, which it'll show here in a second. And you're going to get a lot of it off, because instead of it a sole chemical reaction dissolving grease and old chain lube or your existing lube, it's actually encapsulating most of it within the waxes itself. Now, it's going to push to the surface, and it's going to be able to easily wipe down. There's going to be residue in. That's why you do a second one. This is going to help flush the last bit out on the second application, and you're going to do the same thing twice. It takes less than 10 minutes. And wipe it down. From there, just put your lube of your choice on, whether it's 5311, Darkmatter, Uber Clear, Formula 1.2, or even the original Leubenschleiden Bike Park Formula, which is a great kids bike lube, $12.99. It's great for your average rider. Let's see. I meant to say like a casual rider. It's not into racing or anything. Just want a good chain lube that's only $12. I've got it. It's called LS1 smooth. It's the Leubenschleiden LS1 original bike park formula, which also works for all bikes. Great for dirt jumpers, jumping into foam pits. You'll have a super clean chain. Great for BMX bikes, super clean, super fast, and not expensive at all. Short racing like a BMX race, it's fine. Again, tested up to about 70 miles, 67 XC miles on the Leubenschleiden LS1 original formula. So yeah, so just if you get a little bit on your chain ring, just take the brush, wipe it off. It comes right off. You can, if you have a silver chain ring or a chain ring that doesn't show, you can leave it on there for extra protection and extra quietness, especially in winter time. But anyway, that's about it for the chain prep. It's very simple. It's the thing that makes ours different about other products. And after this initial setup, you're going to put on, in this case on this e-bike, we did the Darkmatter, followed by a second coat of Uber Clear. So we used a small amount of Darkmatter and pushed it into the center with the Uber Clear, let it dry for 15-20 minutes, and went riding super smooth, super duper smooth. So this is what sets ours apart. Ours was designed for mountain biking, and first and foremost, which has much harsher conditions than any road bike. And the road bike stuff was really an afterthought. It was, how can I modify one of these formulas to get longer distance for these 150-mile rides some of these kids go on around town around here. I wound up sponsoring the Plant Power Racing team during the development of 5311, and they proved it is race-worthy and endurance-worthy. Here's their Instagram page here. These kids were placing podiums all the time. There he is in third place there in the Plant Power Racing jersey. I have to install Instagram in this phone to look at it closer. So these kids were winning everything back then, including the Hill Climb World Championships, this XC race at Big Bear. They're local kids here. Super, super fast. And they haven't done much recently, unfortunately. Looks like they last post was in 2021. But I had sponsored them since 2019, and they were extremely fast kids. And they sort of unknowingly helped me with the development of the 5311, just getting their feedback on if they're able to push it on their 150-mile training rides that they were doing back around then. They had also just gotten into cross-country mountain bike racing, so they do time trials, road racing. He won the Hill Climb World Championships one year. And anyway, so the road racing stuff, the road products were, I don't like to use the word an afterthought, but it was not the first focus of what I developed. It was first and foremost for mountain bikes and to get through the grueling conditions that we have here in Southern California. And you can see here after the chain prep, the chain looks very clean after 2 coats and a white down, and then it's ready for the Darkmatter to go on. Now, let me talk about the Darkmatter application for a minute. The best thing to do is to put on a pretty decent coat, work it in with the brush, let it dry for 10 or 15 minutes, and go ride. Okay? Now, that's normally enough. Just 1 coat of Darkmatter liberally to know that you're feeling the rollers the best you can. Let it dry, go ride. You're probably going to get 50 to 60 to 80 miles on your first ride. Maybe you'll do a couple of short rides, a couple of 25s, a couple of 30s. That's what you can expect. But I would say to put on a small amount afterwards for the first 5 rides. At that point, the Darkmatter is well established within your chain and all the little nooks and crannies. Anywhere you missed with the Smooth Lube chain prep, the Darkmatter will make up for that. So over the course of 3 to 5 applications, you're going to see that your endurance goes longer and longer. And after about 10 applications, you're pretty much peaked out. The only thing that could undo it is a really muddy ride where you're grinding the mud in for many, many miles. At that point, you'll have to rinse the mud out. It's going to take away some of it, and you're going to either need to just add more Darkmatter, sort of start that seasoning process again, or you could use the chain prep formula to know you're getting every little bit out of there of the dirt and crud, and then do this 10-minute to wax conversion again after the mud rides. But normal dusty rides, normal water rides, stream crossings, a little bit of sand and mud here and there, normal amount, you're not going to need to do any chain cleaning at all. So the Darkmatter is very thick. It doesn't take a lot. Here's a little sample bottle that I was going to do in a kit. We're not doing the kit yet with a small sample bottle of this, but we will in the future. So just putting basically 1 drop of link. Here I am using a regular bottle here to put about the equivalent of 1 drop of link, and just pushing it in with a 3-headed brush about 1.5 feet of the chain at a time. You rotate the chain, you advance the chain forward after doing this, and it takes about 3 sections, 3.5, 4 sections to do it. The other way is like here, shown here, like a regular chain lube. Just put it on, push it in, rotate the chain for about a minute. This transfers more to the jockey wheels and more to the front chain ring, where the first method doesn't transfer much at all. So that's your choice. It takes only a couple minutes either way you choose. Now here we're showing the Uber Clear top coat procedure. It's basically using a smaller amount of Darkmatter and sealing it in with the Uber Clear. This is what I designed originally. This was what I thought would get the most amount of miles, and it turns out it does. But you don't need to do this. You can use Darkmatter by itself. You can use Darkmatter in your 5311 for your regular pedal bikes. But the Uber Clear is a product that I'm still trying to find the perfect balance. It's so close, but it's something that is winter friendly. It is regular weather friendly, but extreme heat, it's a little bit. I need to figure out how to bring it down just enough to get it up into the 110 degree temperatures that we encounter on the trails without it attracting any dust at all. It attracts a very small amount, but that's not good enough for me. I want it to attract none, just like all the other products do. So work in the wax for 1 minute, work in the Uber Clear for 1 minute, you work in the Darkmatter for 1 minute by holding the brush just like I'm showing you. 1 minute is all it takes. This is what you're going to do every time you lube your chain. Super simple. Put on a coat just like you do any other chain lube, and this is the only difference. Now, if you get it anywhere else, you can use a toothbrush to clean it up. Like here I am cleaning up the little excesses on the jockey wheels. This is because of taking multiple takes. I normally don't have to do this at all. Once you get good at applying the correct amount, you won't have hardly any transfer to your jockey wheels and cassette or whatnot. But because I had to do several takes with the cameraman and saying the wrong thing, getting the wrong angle, there's a little bit too much chain lube on most of the videos I do because of the multiple takes. So, in a world of $10,000 pedal bikes, $15,000 e-bikes, and now $2,000 derailleur hangers, I'm glad I chose to create and provide an affordable chain lube for all purposes, from kids' bikes to beach cruisers to you name it, to racing TT bikes to enduro race bikes and enduro race e-bikes. I've got a formula that's optimized for any type of riding you do. And if you're new and you're a casual rider, just try the Formula 1.2. You're going to be amazed at how easy it is to apply, how clean your chain stays. You're going to get plenty of endurance for $14.95. I would say more than any other water-based chain lube that's out there. Ours is alcohol-based. Ours is still the only alcohol-based chain lube. And I'll talk about that a little further. But there's people that have tried to mimic my product in the past. And I just ran into one of those recently. He had some connections to the artist that worked for me. And, well, anyway, I think that they tried to do this on the side once we parted ways. Kind of ended not too good. It was very strange. He was putting the wrong barcodes on artwork on purpose to waste my time and being very difficult about it. And I realized when he moved back to New York, another company popped up in his same neighborhood with a product that looked very similar to mine, but doesn't have quite the same properties or endurance. So where was I? Yeah, I just want to provide an affordable product that isn't a blatant slap in the face to your intelligence of what things should cost. You know, I mean, I spend a lot of money on my bikes. My bikes are probably average about $7,000 to $8,000 each on average. I've got a couple that are 10. I've got a couple that are 9. I've got, well, one that's 10 and one that's 9,000. And everything else was pretty high end. That was 2018, 19, and 2021. I bought these bikes, and that was really expensive for back then. And it's more now. It's about, what, 30-40% more now for the same bike. So I don't like that about the sport. I think I understand there's a lot of people in these companies that need to get paid, and paychecks come every Friday, and bike sales go up and down. It's a seasonal item. I get it. And I, willing to pay a little more than what I would for a large-scale production product. But there is a limit to what you can justify. And, so this company here makes chain lube, and they sell very expensive chain lube. There's other companies, too, that are $150 a bottle. I would say buy them all, try them, and then try mine, and you tell me what's better. I already know. Ours is the best in the world. Ours requires no degreaser, and ours makes every other chain lube on the planet obsolete. That's it for Chainwax Podcast. What is it, number 23? I'll leave it there, and we'll talk again soon. This was the inspiration for this podcast, and I had to get out right away and point this out. The absurdity. Thanks a lot, guys.